Hello friends, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox, and today I'm presenting this patriotic Americana tag for the Funky Junkie Boutique. So here's the base tag, and you can see here that the gentleman is with his Old Jalopy, and they are all decorated and waving flags for the 4th of July parade. So I started with a piece of paper, and it's cut to be the size of a small, etc. thick board tag, which I do this often. And again, what I did was I ran single stripes of adhesive down the tag, and then I am selecting different squares, and these all came from the backdrops. And so what I'm doing is I cut them into 1.5 inch squares, and so I'm kind of putting them together like a patchwork quilt. And so again, just kind of doing alternating squares here to again make it a cozy quilt. So I'm just about done here, and you'll see in the end I ended up stitching with a zigzag stitch over the seams of this, again to help that quilt look. And again, that's part of the reason I didn't want to add a whole bunch of adhesive, because you don't sew over adhesive, otherwise it gums your needles up. So I pulled out my tonic trimmer, and I am just trimming off the excess. And this is the medium size trimmer, and this is probably the one I reach for the most. I think it's just a great size, and like I say, I use it often. So there is my base. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm taking my collage medium, and I'm going to go ahead and add it to the tag. Now you can see there that I have stitched on the square seams to make it look like a cozy quilt. So again, I'm adding collage medium, focusing on the edges, because again, that's, if you don't get good adherence there, you're kind of in trouble. So again, adding more to the center. And then what I'm going to do is press it down. I also grabbed a brayer and pressed on it to get even better adherence. And then I flip it over and set a couple of heavy things on the top to help it completely dry. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm adding twinkle star type things to my gentleman. So I cut them out of navy cardstock, stacked it 3 times, and then I'm using this stencil 093, it's starry, and I'm using the translucent texture paste, again, just to give it some interest. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding picket fence distress paint to the front here, again, trying to, make it look a little bit aged and softer. So again, I kind of dab some on. I still have the dabber on my bottle, and then just kind of brushed it out, added a little bit of water, and then we'll let it dry. So here's the Old Jalopy. This is a Big's die, and I cut out the car with black cardstock, and then I cut out gray for the tires. And now I'm moving on to stamping and embossing the flags, and those came from the CMS 237, which is crazy things that go with the crazy cat. So again, obviously I missed stamping on one of them, but I've got enough here because I, in the end, needed 5 flags. So I pulled out my distress watercolor pencils now, and I've got a little bit of water on my craft mat. And again, I am pulling the pigment directly from the pencils, because I think you get a much more intense coloring by doing so. So again, just kind of pulling it directly off, adding a little more water, making sure that I get the stars and stripes painted well. I will have to fussy cut these all out in the end, or those that I'm using, I guess I should say. So again, just finishing up the painting. And again, love these distress watercolor pencils. I think their medium is just so interesting. So you should see a red arrow at the bottom right hand side there. I'd love it if you'd come and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So here I've got the base, and I ended up having to add a little collage medium to the corners because I forgot that I wasn't really gluing the top piece directly to the tag, that it was actually a piece of paper with some adhesive on it. So again, I had to go back and kind of add some collage medium to the corner, and you can see I've added my clothespins there. So again, I'm just kind of thinking about how I'm going to arrange this. And so there's those flags again that I still have to fussy cut. So I ended up pulling the stencil again. And what I'm going to do is add some glittery stars here. So I pulled out the Snowfall grit paste. I was thinking that it would end up to be a little whiter, but in the end it was pretty clear. But again, I just went with it. So again, I kind of did it in a swoop shape here over the top of the tag. And again, kind of representing fireworks was what I was thinking when I did this. So again, we're adding that. And you can see it's white sparkles now, but not, not in the end. I needed to add more stars and things. And then I ended up using the rock candy from my glitter duster to add even more sparkles. In the end, I had to go ahead and use my hot glue because I attempted to glue the man in the car on with collage medium, and it just wasn't deep enough to stick because the fireworks there added a whole lot of texture onto the tag. So now I'm playing with the flags, and we're going to arrange all the flags here. So I put 3 on the back bumper, and I ended up using foam tape to pop the middle one up, again, for dimension and texture. And you can see I've got a couple of sentiment strips on there. Those are from the Small Talk Occasions. And so what I always do is I take those and then glue them on top of additional strips so that they end up having a lot of dimension. And then I used a glossy medium to add shine. You could use glossy accents, you could use Nouveau glaze. So again, just kind of finishing up here, adding that one sentiment back on here. Wow, looking good. Very patriotic and very cozy, don't you think? So again, I've got these metal stars. These are Ideology metal stars, and I wanted to add those onto the tag as well for extra decor. So I put three little metal tags on there, or metal stars, excuse me. And so again, they're just kind of adding and making sure my flagpoles are glued down. And so I had 1 flag left over, so the gentleman can carry 2 flags. And that kind of breaks up the space there in the center as well. I'm really liking the way this one turned out. It's just like a Americana scene on a cozy quilt base. I don't think I could have done anything better here. So again, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox. I'd love it if you'd come and subscribe. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Blogger. Come and subscribe and hang out with me.